Hello, my crafty friends. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about my reading journal. This is a requested video, so I'm going to answer all of the questions that came, and I'm going to show you how I put my reading journal together. So first of all, I think the first question I'll answer is, what kind of journal should you use? Any kind of journal, anything works. You can make anything a journal. This is just, oh, I took the back portion off. I bought this right before Christmas at Michael's. It was on sale. I think it was 50% off. I paid like $3 for it. It's just, I think this is a grid journal. I have so many journals. No, this is actually a line journal. Anything works. Anything goes. I have line journals, I think, for this because it's easier to write, but you can go to the Dollar Tree and get a journal. This is another type of journal that I have. I believe this one, yeah, is a grid journal. Any kind of journal works. Anything you can afford, anything you can find. I got this from the Dollar Tree for $1.25, but you can find journals just like this at Michael's or any craft store, really. And when you catch a sale, it's fantastic. So any kind of journal works for a reading journal. Second thing, personally, this is just an opinion. This is not something you have to do. But I find that personalizing your journal, any journal, including your reading journals, is absolutely wonderful. So I always have an introductory page. This is kind of my introductory to my reading journal. So I put Missy's book journal. I usually put the year. If I don't use this entire journal for 2025, let's say I only get halfway through it, I will use these two pages and do a whole nother introductory page with the year 2026 on it. So I just keep going until the journal's so full you can't close it. But I always try to do like an introductory page to the beginning of a journal or to the beginning of a new year. And I always have like some kind of little quote. So my quote is, "There's nothing more sacred than the archives. Even temples can be rebuilt, but books cannot be rewritten." This is from Fourth Wing. And I use all kinds of stuff. This is called collage journaling. So I just collage with stickers and washi tape and whatever I have, paper, whatever you want, whatever, it's your journal, you make it pretty, but I do recommend making them personalized. So the next page here, as I turn, these two pages usually in a journal are a little weird. I don't know if you can see it or not, but they glue them in a weird way. So neither one of them lay flat. So even if you don't want to do your introductory page on the opening of your journal, you could use like these two. I, again, make my journals very personal. So I put on here, reader's gonna read, and I love book stickers. And I get a lot of book stickers from different things, from things that I attend, from things that I order, just stuff. And these pages I kind of like dedicate to like awesome book stickers that I collect over the year. So that's why there's even some spaces, because as the year goes, I will add stickers to this page. I love stickers, period. So again, this page is not necessary to your reading journal, but if you like stuff like that, go for it. It's your journal. Then we're going to turn the page. And here is my first entry. And this, I think, this again can be totally what interests you, what really gets you going about the books that you're reading. So for me, I always put the start date and when I finished. I always put the name of the book, how many stars I give the book, and most stars are either from a 1 to a 5. Spice, you know, again, 1 to a 5. I always put spice in here. And how I read, whether I read it through Audible, if I read physical book, if however you read it, you know, the library book, whatever you want to put in here, you can put in here. I always put the genre because at the end of the year, I like to go and see what genre I read the most of. And I always put how I was influenced, because a lot of the books that I read, I'm usually influenced to read. It's just the truth, okay? Then I always put my favorite scene. I always put something in here for my very first scene. And then, of course, the thoughts of the book. Then on my printer, I have a printer. I always print out a picture of the book. And through Pinterest, I also have Canva. I make my own like little things like this, or sometimes Pinterest has lots of fan art from books, and I'll print out some fan art from books and put them in here. Or these days, lots of books have stickers and such that go with it. So whatever I can find. I really liked this book, so I made the book really big, but I usually print my books a little smaller. And I use my printer. If you have one of those little printers that sit on your desk, then your prints are going to be about that big. However you want to put it in there. You do not have to follow my layout. It's just an idea. But these are things that I really want to remember about the book. I always want to know how, when I started it and when I finished, because it tells me how long it took. It took me literally less than a day, really, to finish this book. How many stars I give it, how I read it, the genre, how it's influenced. I want to always remember my favorite scene and what I thought about it. And for me, the fun part too is decorating the page and putting little fun things in here. So I kind of carry on that theme throughout. So here we have, this is more the size, I think, for a book this size that the cover of the book should be. This was Quicksilver, same thing. This is when I started, this is when I finished, how many stars, spice, how I read it, genre, how it was influenced. These three things right here came off of Pinterest. They were fan art things. This onyx, the butterflies and stuff, I created on my Canva and printed out. So I use prints, I use stickers. I also tried to do things like this was blue, so I tried to make the dark blue and the light blue. And then like this book is silver, so I used a Quicksilver. So I used silver and black to kind of put anything, but it's the same thing. Favorite scene, my thoughts, who I really, really liked, things of that nature. That's how I set up my journal when I'm doing book reviews. This is kind of the way that I do it. Let's see, here we go. Start, finish, the name, stars, spice, how I read, genre, influenced, favorite scene. This is my thoughts. It carries over to here. I did put down here because the last book just came out. So I wanted to remember that this is a trilogy. The last book just came out. I thought this book sticker was great. I printed this out from Canva, just stuff like that. So it's pretty much the same thing throughout. That's how I do my book reviews. But I have other pages in my book as well, which here is one. So this is my winter TBR. So these are the books that I am hoping to get read in winter. Now you can condense this more because I've seen other readers do it where you can do December TBR, and then you can do one page. Maybe you'll have 4 books that you want to read for the month of December. And then on this page, you can put January's TBR. Maybe you'll have 4 books here. For me, instead of doing individual things and then locking myself into, okay, I want to read these particular 4 books for the month of December, because sometimes my mood changes and I'm a mood reader. I don't want to lock myself into that, so I do seasons. So for the winter, these are the books that I would like to read. And so far, I have read Onyx Storm, Ask for Andrea, Leather and Lark. I think I read one more. I have this one sitting on my bookshelf. I think this is the next one I have. But I have the whole winter to read all these. So I prefer to do seasons. So when spring comes, I'll do another page similar to this. It won't be decorated the same, that's for sure. I'll have a more springier kind of feel for it, I guess. But I'll do the same thing. I'll have a spring TBR, and I'll have all the books that I would like to read in spring. And some of these books may be carried over to spring if I didn't get them read in the winter. I like to give myself grace and space, because if I lock myself into it, I might be I hate being disappointed with myself. So I don't want to be disappointed that I didn't read these particular 4 books for the month of December, because I may not have been feeling it. You know what I mean? I am definitely an emotional reader. I read what I feel. So these are the books that I hope to read for the winter. So this is my winter TBR. But like I said, you can do this multiple ways. And again, I just printed all of these books out on my printer. And again, I did collage, what they call collage journaling. I used stickers. This was a printout. This was a printout. I printed these out from my Canva. This is paper. It's just collage journaling, however you like it. Other things that I also put in my reading journal is anything that I do special with reading. So for Onyx Storm, which is from the Fourth Wing series, they had a huge midnight release party at my local Barnes & Nobles, which I did pay for, and my daughter and I attended. So for that kind of stuff, I do like almost like junk journaling. So this Onyx Storm bingo card, this sticker, this was the thing that my book was wrapped in. This was the name on my book. This was an actual picture that I took while we were sitting at Barnes & Nobles. I do remembrance kind of things in my reading journals as well. And I do it as I go. So this is very relatable, because on the next page, when I turn the page here, because I'm almost finished with Onyx Storm. I have like 100 pages left. I can't wait to finish it. But I will do my Onyx Storm book review right here. And then I've been collecting things, if I will. Let me grab it real quick. Is it this one? No. Hold on. I think it's this one. I've been collecting things to do this. So I have this little stash of stickers right here. And I also already printed, I think it's right here. I have this little thing, and then I've been collecting stickers. My journal spread here. So this is one of the main characters that'll probably go on this page. And I love this one. There's the trilogy. This actually came from that. It was actually a tattoo that they were using. And I got all different kinds of like stickers here that go with this series. Here's the Fourth Wing. So I've been collecting these and getting these ready to use for my Onyx Storm book review. So I always have like stickers or things that I've created off of Canva, or that I found on Pinterest through fan art and things of that nature, to add to my book review pages, because it just makes the pages really, really come to life. So another thing that I can't show you in my own personal reading journal, but I know that you can do, and I'm going to try to find a picture and put it up for you right here. So what you just saw was, you can take these pages, you can do it at the beginning, or you can do it in the middle. You can do it wherever you want. It's your journal, whatever makes sense to you. But you can do a layout where every time you read a book, you can put the book in here. So at the end of the year, you have a year look, a year look of all the books that you read. You can do it in a bookshelf style, which means you can either draw bookshelves and like color them in every time you read a book and put the title on the side. You can buy stuff like that that's already done for you and glue it in to your reading journals. And you can buy stuff like that from Etsy. They're printables where somebody else, because maybe you don't draw good. I don't draw well myself. I try, but I don't do the best. Where somebody else drew bookshelves. And you can just like paste it, glue it in for yourself. There's so many different ways that you can do your reading journal, whatever works for you. I prefer to do seasonal TBRs. And then maybe at the end of the year, I will create a page of all the books that I read in a year, but if you want to track that all throughout the year, you definitely can have a page of that in your book. But for me, my reading journal really is all about my reading experiences. So this was an experience that had to do with reading. I track my seasonal TBRs. And then, of course, this is how I take care of doing book reviews. So, oh, and I, just so you know, this is a series and I bought both books at once and I haven't read the second one. So I have the first one here and I'll put the second one down here. So that's why the bottom of this page is blank yet. But this is how I do it. This is how I do book reviews. Then another page that you can also put in your book journal is releases. So for instance, like I did here, I read Butcher and Blackbird and I read Leather and Lark. So I had been waiting for Scythe and Sparrow. And that wasn't being released until January. I forget the day now. It was January something. So you could have a whole page that kind of looks something similar to this. So this book right here wasn't being released to November 15th, which is part of my winter TBR. It's out now because it was released, in November. But like you can have a whole page that looks very similar to this. And then underneath each picture, you can have release dates. Like this book is being released April 31st. This book is being released January 14th. This book was being released December 21st, 2025. You can also have a whole release date page of books that you're really looking forward to reading and, getting your hands on and reading. There are so many different things that you can add to your reading journals. Really and truly, it's whatever you feel enriches your reading experience and things that you really want to track. That's really what you want to look at your reading journal, is the things that you want to track that have to do with reading. And then of course your book reviews. Your book reviews are the most important thing because that's what you want to remember, is the things that you're reading, what you felt about it and all of that. But the things that you want to track. So I'm tracking my winter TBR. I can track, like I said, book releases, how many books I read in a year. Another pages that you can do in your book too that might be good for you. I'll try to find a picture and put it right here. Is you can also track things like how many dark romance books did I read and have a whole page of that. How many thrillers did I read and have a whole page of that. You can, again, do it the same way. You can do it styled like this, or you can make bookshelves and stacked books, however it works for you. But really and truly, you're just looking at your reading journal as a tracker. Things that are really important to you that you want to track are the things that you would want to put in your reading journal. For me, I don't care about stuff like that. Like I don't care about how many dark romances versus thrillers versus love stories. Like that stuff I don't track. If that really interests you though, then track it. For me, it's all about my TBRs. It's all about my book reviews. And anything special that happens like this that is book related or something I'm looking forward to. Book releases, book release parties, meeting authors, going into places maybe where books were written. For instance, like if I was taking a trip to Forks, Washington for the Twilight Convention, there probably would be 7 pages in here full of like pictures and memorabilia and little things that I collected. All of that kind of stuff would go in my journal. Do you know what I mean? Like anything of that nature, that kind of stuff would go in my journal. Those are the things that I focus on, but you can focus on so many things. And then, like I said, I might even, because I do think it would be cool to see how many books I do read in a year. I mean, for me, I can just go right here. I can just count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I can just do that at the end of the year instead of making this whole page where I color in like little book spines. I mean, that would be easier, but at the same time, I could just count. So whatever makes sense to you. But that might be a really fun page to do, is kind of like glue in, or if I want to really test my drawing skills, maybe I'll try to draw a bookshelf with books and color them in to see at the end of the year how many books I did read. That might be a really cool tracking system to add to mine. But really and truly, this is all I do in my reading journal. I try to keep it very simple. So this is basically how I do it, guys. Really and truly, I just put start to finish, stars, spice, how I read, the genre, influenced, favorite scene, and thoughts. And the rest is just decoration, decor, whatever you want to call it, bringing the book to life kind of thing. If you want to see more in-depth tracker system for your books, pages that I have not added to my own personal reading journal. I've done that before and I just find that I don't use it. So every year I just kind of compress my reading journal into what really works for me and what I enjoy. I don't want to put pages in my reading journal that I feel like I have to force myself to do, because then I don't want to go to my reading journal because it isn't fun. Do you know what I mean? But if you want to add specific things to your reading journal that maybe I have not shown, just put in your bar, here in YouTube, reading journal setups. And I guarantee you, like if you're more of a tracker kind of a girly, tons of videos will come up for like reading tracking. How would I say that? Reading tracker setup. That might be what you want to put, reading journal or reading tracker journal setup or something like that. Things that I have not shown you in my own personal journal. If you want to add some of that kind of stuff, just look up those videos on YouTube and I guarantee you so many videos will come up. I keep my reading journal very simple because I want to be engaged and I want to come back. I feel like the more trackers and more things that I feel like I have to go in here and like do kind of discourages me from coming back to my reading journal. The simpler it is and the funner, I know that's not a word, but the funner it is, the more I come back to this. So that's my own personal opinion. That's my own personal reading journal. I hope that this helped. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it was a lot of talking, but happy reading. Thank you so much for your requested video. I love it when you guys engage and ask for particular things or particular videos. I would even love it because I do a lot of creative journaling and stuff like that here on my channel. I would even love it if you guys like had requests for certain pages, like, Missy, can you do a page on this? Or can you do a page on that? Or, can you do mermaids? Can you do this? Can you do that? I would even love that. I love requested videos. I'm always happy to answer questions or do a requested video that somebody wants of me. I find that so fun. So thanks so much for joining me today and giving up a portion of your day to spend with me. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Until then, stay crafty and keep reading. Bye, y'all.